Hi everyone and welcome to my Squarespace tutorial. In this video I'm gonna show you the step-by-step process of creating a business website using this platform. Before we start, I want you to pay attention to the timestamps in the description. You can use them to easily navigate through the video. I also want to remind you that if you have any questions while watching this tutorial, don't hesitate to ask them in the comments. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you're interested in website building and online marketing. Let's begin. First of all, you have to sign up. Go to the squarespace.com or follow the link in the description of this video and click Get Started. In this step, you will be asked to select the template that suits you. Since in this tutorial I'm showing you how to create a business website, I'll select the appropriate item. Actually, it's not so important, because the choice of template impacts only on what demo content and blogs will be on your site by default. You can sign up by using your Google, Facebook or Apple account, or by using an email. Now you need to enter the title of your site. If you haven't come up with it yet, that's not a big deal, you can change it later, so type the first thing that came to your mind. Click Continue and Squarespace will show you some useful tips about editing. Watch or skip them and click Start Editing. Here is the Squarespace dashboard. Let me explain to you how things works here. On the Page tab you can perform all actions related to their management, such as add a new page, arrange or delete existing ones, change their settings and so on. Let's try to add a new page. As you can see, there are two sections here, Main Navigation and Not Linked. The Main Navigation is the main menu of your site. It displays at the top of every page and consists of your most important pages. If you want your new page to appear on the Main Navigation, click the plus button next to it. But if you want to add a page that will not appear on your site at all, click the plus button next to the Not Linked section. This section is usually used to store in progress pages or content that doesn't need to appear in the navigation menu, for example sitemap or something. You can add a blank page to build it from scratch or choose from one of the pre-made page layouts. Also, you can use folders in order to add a drop-down menu. Create a new one and add some pages into it. If you want to add a link on some website, file, email, phone or something else, select the link item. Here you can enter the link title and change its type. To delete any page, simply click the trash icon left to it. Alright, that's it with the pages. Let's move on to the next step, which is the design. Keep in mind that all changes you make on the Design tab are usually global. That helps maintain a consistent style for the entire site. Let me explain to you quickly what exactly you can change here. On the Fonts tab you can switch the font pack for all text on your site, as well as change it only for the specific types of text, such as headings, paragraphs, buttons and so on. Also, here you can change the font size. On the Colors tab, you can select one of the color palettes and apply it to the entire site, or customize the color for each element individually. If you want to add fancy animations that appear when visitors scroll the page, you can do that on the appropriate tab. The selected animation style will be automatically applied to all blocks on your site, making it look more professional, individual and modern. Also, after you select one of the styles, you can set the animation speed. On the Spacing tab you can adjust the maximum page width and margins between the elements. To style your site's buttons, go to the appropriate tab. You can change their style, shape and padding, which is a great way to match calls to action to your site's visual design. To help you create a consistent look, style changes you make to buttons affect most buttons on your site. Also, I want to remind you that in order to change the button's color, you have to go to the Colors tab. On the Image Blocks tab, you can change their content width, text alignment and such other things related to them. On the Browser Icon tab, you can add a favicon. That's a small square image in a PNG or ICA format that displays next to a page's title in browser tabs and in other places across the web. Right now, your website has the default Squarespace favicon, and that's not acceptable for a serious business. Adding a custom favicon is super important to make your site recognizable and easy to find in a full of tabs browser. If you already have your own favicon, just add it by clicking the appropriate button. But if you don't have it yet, I recommend you to use any favicon generator that you can find on the internet. Anyway, it's not necessary to do it right now, just make sure that you haven't forgotten about it before publishing the site. As for the rest of the tabs, they are not so important, so in order to not waste your time, I won't show them in detail. Instead, let's talk about how to save the changes that you made. Squarespace doesn't have autosave, or at least it doesn't work properly, so you have to save all the changes manually. You can find the Save button under this drop-down menu. Another important thing that I want to tell you about before we start editing the template is the mobile version of the site. To preview how your site looks on it, you can click the corresponding button in the upper right corner. I want to specifically draw your attention to the fact that in Squarespace, unlike some other website builders, you cannot edit the mobile version of the site separately from the PC version. Thankfully, all sections and blocks are fully responsive, which means you are unlikely to have any problems displaying them on the mobile version. Alright, let's move on to editing the homepage. Press the Edit button. I suggest starting from the header. It's a section that's positioned at the top of your site and where your navigation and title or logo display. The header looks the same throughout your site and plays a key role in the design and usability. If you click the Edit Header button, a pop-up window with settings appears. First of all, I would like to mention that you can customize the header separately for the PC and mobile versions. You can switch between them using these buttons. To change the site title or replace it with the logo, click the appropriate button. You can upload different logos for the PC and mobile versions as well. If someday you decide to use a title instead of a logo again, you can just delete it. As for me, since I don't have a specific logo for this tutorial, I'll just leave the title. On the Elements tab you can turn on or off the display of the Action button, Social Links, Card and Login bar. Type the name of the button here if you want to change it. Also, you can change the link that the visitor will follow after clicking the button. The next in the line are social links. In my template, they are turned off by default, but I want them to appear. There are not so many settings here. You can change their size and visibility, rearrange them and also remove or add new ones. Regarding the card and login bar, I will not turn them on, since this specific tutorial is for business sites and I just don't need such features. However, I have a separate Squarespace tutorial for online stores, so you can check it out if you're interested. You can find the link in the description. As for the Colors tab, here you can set the header background to transparent or a solid color. And the last thing here is the fixed position toggle. It's worth noting that not all templates support fixed headers, but this one does. If this toggle is switched on, navigation stays in the same position at the top of the browser, while you scroll the page up or down, depending on settings. You can see these changes only in a preview mode, so let's save them and take a look if all is working correctly. Okay, we are done with the header, let's move on to customizing the page content. Each page consists of sections that are highlighted by blue at the edges and placed one after another. You can edit, duplicate, move and delete them. To do that, point the cursor over any section and choose the necessary option. And of course, you can add new sections by clicking the plus button under or above the existing one. In order to show you how easy to use the Squarespace editor is, I'm going to completely change the topic of this template. Let it be the site of a local restaurant. First of all, I would like to add a welcome message for visitors. Let's try to edit the first section in order to do that. Every section has the same set of options. On the first tab you can change its height, width and content alignment inside it. On the second tab you can change the background of the section and apply some visual effects to it. And on the last tab you can manage the color scheme. First of all, the height of this block doesn't suit me, so I'll make it a bit smaller. You can select among one of the ready options or change this parameter by using the slider. Also, I'm going to replace the background of this section with the photo of the restaurant. Squarespace has an integration with free photo stock Unsplash, so if you don't have an image, you can find and add one from it. Also, each section contains some elements, such as text, images, buttons and so on. You can easily edit the text in an intuitive editor. As for the link, you can delete it or change its address and title. Alright, since now it's clear how to edit an existing blog, let's try to add a completely new one. I think every restaurant's website should have a short menu listing their specialties on the homepage. Let's see if Squarespace has ready-made sections for this purpose. Press the plus button. On the left menu you can find all available sections. As you can see, there are a lot of them, and that's awesome for beginners and those who just want to launch their site as soon as possible. Also, you can add a blank section to make it the way you want from scratch. Alright, let's continue with adding the menu. Click the appropriate item and choose one of the available sections. You already know how to edit the text, so I will not dwell on this. Instead, let's take a look at the image settings. You can change its design and captions location, turn on the lightbox, make it as clickable link and animate image block. Also, I think it would be great to add an Instagram feed full of pictures of our happy visitors. You can find that section on the social tab. In its settings, you can connect your account, choose how many items you want to show and select a layout. Now let's add a map with the restaurant's location to make it easier for visitors to find it. Go to the Location tab and select the section that suits you. You can enter your address in the settings to drop a pin on this map. You can also select which map design you prefer. After we've added a few new sections, I think it's a good time to show you how to add new content blocks into a section. As you remember, every section consists of some blocks, and if you hover an existing block, you will see the insert points that show where you can add another one. Click on any insert point to see the list of all available blocks. Select one of them so that it appears on the page and becomes available for customization. To move any block within a section, simply drag and drop it. To go ahead, we need to remove the blocks with Dima content. You already know how to do that, don't you? So, the next in the line is the footer. It's placed in the bottom section of your site, below the page content. Usually the footer contains contact information, social icons, some links and so on. You can edit this section just like any other, as well as add new blocks to it or delete existing ones. Okay guys, I hope you now understand how to add and customize new sections. So, to not waste time, I suggest to move on to the website settings and an overview of Squarespace advanced features. Once you've finished customizing your site, it's a good time to add your business information to it. In order to do that, you have to go on the Settings tab and find an appropriate item. Here you can add your phone number, contact email, physical location and business hours. That's vital information, so be sure to add it before publishing your site. Another crucial thing that every business website owner should definitely take care of is SEO, or search engine optimization. In a nutshell, it's the process of improving your site's ranking in search results. The good news is that Squarespace uses all of the best SEO practices by default, but you still have to optimize your page titles and descriptions yourself. As for the homepage, you can edit its SEO parameters in the Marketing tab by choosing the appropriate item. Also, here you can find the link to the SEO checklist that contains additional optimization steps. However, to edit the title and description of any other page, you need to open it, click Edit, and then click the gear icon in the upper right corner. By the way, you can hide any page from the search results by switching this toggle. Let's move on to the scheduling feature, which is one of the most essential for every business website without any doubts. As you remember, my site also has a table reservation link. Let's try to click on it. So, I'm on a schedule page, but right now this form doesn't work properly. It shows that there are not spots left for any class. That's because that feature hasn't been configured yet. To make it work, you have to go on the Scheduling tab. With Squarespace Scheduling, clients can book appointments or classes using the Appointment Scheduling block or through a separate scheduling page. Scheduling only displays the times you're available and encourages clients to book appointments on their own while capturing all the information you need. Unfortunately, it's a paid feature, but you can try it for 14 days absolutely free. Another important thing to do before launching a website is to add social links. You can do that in the Settings tab. Just enter the link to your account in any social media and its icon will automatically appear. The icons will be displayed wherever you add a block with them. For example, on my site they appear in the header and footer. Also, you can create pop-ups that appear when visitors land on your site. They are great for collecting emails, providing information about upcoming events or sales, announcing your new products and so on. To add a promotional pop-up, go to the Marketing tab and select the corresponding item. You can choose a layout that suits you in the Change Layout panel. I don't recommend you choose the layouts that cover the entire screen, because it can negatively impact your site's behavioral factors and consequently SEO. Keep in mind that pop-ups don't have to be intrusive. Also, you can choose whether your visitors will sign up for a newsletter or click a button. On the rest of the tabs you can change the text and visual appearance. As for the Display and Timing tab, I don't recommend changing any setting there, because they are great by default. Remember to turn the switch on when you are done, so that the pop-up will start displaying. Unfortunately, promotional pop-ups are a premium feature, available only in business and commerce plans. Another useful feature that I want to tell you about is the announcement bar. You can use it to display a custom message at the top of your website pages. This is a great way to announce a sale, upcoming discounts, promotion or something else. You can turn on the announcement bar on the Marketing tab as well, and it's also available only on the paid plans. The announcement bar follows your general font and color selections for your site, but you can style it separately on the Design tab. One more crucial thing for every business owner is traffic analytics. Of course, Squarespace has its own solution for this purpose. You can find the Analytics panel in the home menu. However, no one can compete with Google Analytics in that field. And thankfully, Squarespace has an easy Google Analytics integration that allows you to connect your account in seconds. In order to connect Google Analytics to your site, you have to go to the Settings, click Advanced, and then click External API Keys. Enter your tracking ID for this site in the Google Analytics account number field, and it's done. Continuing the topic of connecting third-party services, Squarespace has a lot of additional extensions that streamline key tasks, like sales tax reporting and order fulfillment. Built and managed by third-party services, these extensions connect to your site to offer additional features. You can browse them on the extensions page, the link to which you can find in the settings. These extensions allow you to connect Squarespace with other platforms to help streamline shipping, sell products across the web, market your store, and so on. To connect any of them with your site, just press the appropriate button. When you are ready to publish the site, go to the Site Availability tab, which is located in the settings. As you can see, right now the site is in private mode, which means that it's visible only for contributors. Unfortunately, unlike many other website builders, Squarespace doesn't allow you to publish your site on a free plan at all, even on a subdomain. So in order to publish your site, you have to upgrade your plan first. You can do that by clicking on the appropriate button. Regarding the domain name, you can add or purchase a new one on the appropriate tab in the settings. It's worth noting that if you purchase an annual plan, Squarespace gives you a domain name for free. That's pretty beneficial. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please don't forget to hit the like button to help my channel grow and make it easier for other people to find this video. Also, consider subscribing to my channel if you're interested in website building and online marketing. Have a nice day and see you the next time. Bye!